Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
Kyle Delfini with Citrix.
Good to meet you,
Can I take a
Kyle.
seat?
Absolutely, have a seat, buddy.
Great. So I saw you are connected on LinkedIn with my good friend Tim Smith.
Oh yeah, you know Tim?
Yeah, I do.
He's a good buddy of mine, actually. I met him at a conference a few years ago. And,
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we were able to just stay in touch after that. I've used him as a reference a few times. He's a good guy. How do you know Tim?
We actually went to college together.
Oh, no
Yeah, I went
kidding.
to the University of
Oh,
Delaware.
that's awesome. Go Blue Hens.
Yeah, exactly. So this is my business card.
Okay.
You can reach me at any time, email, phone, however you prefer.
Great.
Okay.
Mhm,
So
absolutely.
is 15 minutes still good for this meeting?
Yes, sir.
Great. And do you mind if I take a few notes to better help you and come up with a better solution?
Not at all. Feel free.
Awesome, great. And so really today I want to accomplish three things.
Okay.
I want to find out a little bit more about your process, find out some of the pain points in your day. Then I want to go through a quick solution that we may have to better suit your problem.
Okay.
And then answer any remaining questions that you may have. Does that sound good?
It sounds okay. Right off the bat, I noticed you're very young looking. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
Just wondering, this is a very important issue being presented to us right here with Aerotech right now,
Right.
and we just want to make sure that, we're confident in the person that we hire to help us with the solution is somebody that's qualified to do so, of course, as I'm sure you can understand.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a very, very common issue. A lot of people will ask that. It's something that's not such a big deal. And the reason is we go through extensive training. We go through
Okay.
6 months of training before we're actually put in front of any customer.
Wow.
Does that sound okay for you? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
I want to make sure that, we establish a good relationship off the bat. I want to make sure that I'm providing you with a credible reputation.
Absolutely, I'm
Sound
sure
good?
that as we go along that I'll feel even more and more
Right.
comfortable with you there.
Absolutely, and I'll have to earn that over time.
Sounds good.
So Steph told me a little bit about the structure of your company. She talked a little bit about the teams, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But she also mentioned something about laptops on the job site. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about what they're used for, whether you have them already or not, and how might you better use them toward the issues that you're having.
So yeah, we do have some company laptops, but the ones we do have are very out of date. We're actually in the process of considering buying or investing in new laptops. That way we can go ahead and supply our employees with newer, up-to-date technology to try to help us.
So just to be clear, that not every rep has them, and that you're going to be
No.
buying all new technology. for
That
them.
is in the operation stage still,
Okay.
but yeah.
So you have it in the budget ready?
Yeah, it is
Okay.
there.
Great, and so do most of the reps have cell phones on the job, or smartphones?
Oh, I'd say yeah. I think
Yeah?
that at least 95% of my guys definitely have smartphones, if not all of them.
Okay, and are they provided by you?
No, just they're personal phones. We don't really have any use
Right.
for smartphones really within the company, but I'd say that everybody has them.
So it's not required as part of their job to have a phone and to use it for business
Not
purposes?
necessarily. Not
Okay.
necessarily.
Okay, and so, but are the team leads using their phones to communicate back and forth with the office, or?
Well, yes, to a certain extent, but not nearly as much as they maybe could be. I'm not sure.
Right, okay, cool. And so Steph also mentioned something about the effect of the time spent having the reps go back into the office to do all the work.
Oh yeah.
What is your reaction to that?
I'd say we definitely waste a good chunk of time with all of our reps and our managers, having to spend doing things manually
Right.
in the office that they, otherwise would be able to do maybe somewhere else. But as of now, that's just the only way that we do things.
Right, and so does that have a big impact on your reputation, or, are clients getting disappointed with you,
Well-
prospective employees?
Well, I'd say that in this industry, it's definitely important that, customer service is an important thing, and that we get, our proposals or whatever out to our clients and have, quick communications with them constantly. Otherwise, a competitor could swoop in and take them from us. So yeah, that's definitely something that we cherish, having good customer service and being quick to respond and all that.
So you'd agree that, the time that it's costing you is hurting you in both your reputation and also, obviously, it's gonna cost you something at the end of the day,
Yeah,
right?
unfortunately, yeah, that time definitely could be better spent.
Right. Awesome. That's what a lot of businesses that we work with actually have this similar issue where,
Oh.
they have to be in the office to be doing things, and they're being hurt in the same ways, and
Right.
that's why I ask.
Okay.
So, tell me some of the issues there might be with having laptops for every employee.
Okay. Well, as of now, one of the major setbacks is when trying to implement this situation is we know that on a monthly basis, our IT team will have to collect all the laptops up and do pretty much a monthly update and to make sure everything's running smoothly. And this is going to cost us, I think, right around $2,000 a month. So this is a flat cost of $2,000 every month. It's pretty much almost unavoidable just to make sure that they stay up and running.
Right.
But then also just the time that we use, or the time that we waste really use, that extra hour or two per rep, is definitely something that, I'm saying that every single one of my reps could close at least one more deal and make at least, $1,000 extra in revenue for me each week, which is, that's the extra frustrating part.
Right. And so just to clarify, it's gonna cost you $2,000 per month?
Yeah,
to
just
deal with
about,
this?
just
Okay.
about, yeah.
Okay.
But that number I just gave you for the reps, that's pretty much every week, because they're spending an hour or two every week doing this, the time card specifically.
Right, so they're spending $1,000, it costs you $1,000 per rep per week, is that?
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
ballpark number, I'd say.
Okay. Now, so have you ever figured out on a yearly basis what that is impacting?
No, I have not.
You haven't? So why don't we do this? Why don't we figure out exactly what it does cost? And that will give me a better sense and also you a better sense of really how big this issue is. So,
Okay.
so Steph mentioned to me that there are 3 teams across the country.
There are.
Right, okay, so, and then under each of them, there's 3 more reps.
Correct.
And 8 reps under them.
Yep, each one of them has a team of, 6, 7, 8 reps.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if we take 3 teams,
Okay.
8 reps,
Mhm.
across 3 different divisions,
Correct.
and then multiply that by, you said 1,000,
Yeah, I'd say at least.
okay, per week. Okay. Times 52
52 weeks in a year, man.
So this is looking like a $3 million issue to me.
Wow.
To me, that seems like a really high number.
That does seem very high. That's definitely
and-
the math I've never done before.
Right, right. And I don't have a proposal for you today. This is kind of me trying to figure out what types of things we're gonna include in that.
Of course,
but-
of course.
But what I can promise you is that the number we come back with is gonna be much smaller than that.
That's good to hear. That's
Right,
good to
so,
hear.
so just to clarify, the issues that you're having are time and money, the cost of this.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay,
Absolutely.
so what if I told you I had a solution that would help bring down the cost significantly and also almost eliminate that time issue?
I definitely would love to hear more about it.
Great, great. So what I have for you today is the Citrix Zen desktop.
Okay.
And basically what it is it takes your work computer and displays it on an external computer. So
Okay.
this laptop, picture this on the job site, right? So what you're doing now is logging into your computer at work.
Okay.
So let's go through the process of doing that now. I'm gonna put in my username just for demonstration purposes. So why don't you click log on,
Sure.
and now click open, so it's gonna start running the program.
Okay.
It's gonna take a second to load. And so now this is theoretically your work desktop.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
anything that's on that computer, files, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, anything you might need is on this computer.
Oh,
Right?
alright.
So do you see how this might help you in other ways rather than just the process of doing the time cards and the proposals?
Yeah, I'm sure that there's multiple different ways that this could definitely benefit us.
Right.
Anytime where a rep doesn't have to, run back to the office just to input data would definitely be helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you think maybe now the reps wouldn't have to come into the office at all? What else do they come into the office for? Are there other things?
There are certain things, obviously, that, whenever we have team meetings and things like that, or whenever they just want to be able to, reconcile with the manager and ask her questions or whatever. But for the most part, my reps are on the job site a lot of the day, so if their job is an hour away, it would be very convenient for them not to have to come back to the office
Right.
before going home at 7 o'clock
Right.
at night. So yeah, I'm sure
Right.
that this would be very helpful for my reps as well.
And so you have a division in China, from what I understand. You went on a trip recently.
Yes.
I wanted to
It's
ask you, oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so do they have any technology in place there?
So yeah, it's a little bit technologically ahead of us, I think, in China. They just seem to do things a little bit more technology based, and they all are very a little more
Right.
savvy than we are here. But one thing that I really noticed different was that they're able to use their smartphones to do certain things that we don't use our smartphones at all throughout the
Right.
the
And
process.
so another advantage to the product is you could theoretically also not purchase laptops. if the employee has smartphones, or if you were willing to provide them to them, they could actually access it on the computer.
Okay, so
Or, I'm
this
sorry,
is
on the smartphone.
on the smartphone,
Yes,
right, so it is something similar to what
Right.
they have in
And
place
so-
over there already.
So you would eliminate also that $2,000 cost of bringing the computers in each month to do your maintenance or updates, whatever that may be,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah.
you know, and if they already have the phone as well, maybe you don't have to pay that cost.
Right, yeah,
Right,
that's
so-
definitely cost we'd like to avoid.
Right, and so in China, you know, if they have something similar, what I'd say to that is, if we're gonna roll this out in the US, in which it sounds like you're interested in doing so, is that
Absolutely,
correct?
yeah.
So what we could do is implement it in both places at one time.
Okay.
Okay, so that this software is working on all of your computers company-wide.
Okay.
Does that sound like it would be a good?
Although it might seem a little bit more difficult because of, you know, two different locations. I
Right,
think that
right.
it's something that is definitely worth checking out.
And also, it's very easy to implement, right?
Okay.
So all you have to do is download the app, basically.
Good.
And then there's a few things on our side that we have to do, and you'd be up running within a week.
Okay. Now,
Right.
one question I actually have for you is, I've actually never heard of Citrix, and, you know, we really only like to do business with, you know,
Right.
strong, stable companies. Now, are you guys a startup company?
So you really wanna know if we're gonna be around in the future, is that?
Well,
is
yeah,
that what
yeah,
you're
you
getting
know,
at?
we've had
Absolutely,
situations
yeah.
in the past where we're contracted with a smaller company to
Absolutely.
help us out, and then they go out of business in the middle of our contract, you know? So
Yeah,
that's something
you know, and that's something we deal with as well, you know, obviously we have suppliers too,
Mhm.
and I totally understand that feeling. But, you know, we've been around since 1989, right? And so we also have been, since then, gone public, okay? So we're a large company doing
Okay.
billions of dollars in sales. There should not be a worry there.
Okay.
You know, we've been around for 20-plus years, and I don't see us going anywhere relatively soon,
Okay,
right? So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Makes me
Okay,
feel a little
cool.
bit more confident
Great.
going forward.
Great. And so now, one other thing on China, okay? What process goes into implementing the software there?
So as far as my knowledge is concerned, it's very similar to the way the operations go here, except for the fact that, like I said before, they are able to use their smartphones to do certain things. They have an application on their smartphone
Right.
that the manager there was trying to explain it to me, and I just really was lost, if we're being honest.
So now, who is the manager? Is there someone that's gonna be involved with implementing it
So,
there,
yeah.
or making a purchase decision?
Yep, there is the contact there for the China branch is Bri Quinn.
Right.
Yep, and he's definitely somebody that would need to be very much so involved if we were, you know, to implement this here as well as in there.
Right. So why don't we do this? Why don't we set up a meeting between the three of us?
Okay.
And so it sounds like we're gonna be rolling this out in the US, right? So it sounds like a good solution for you, assuming the proposal's correct?
We hope so.
Awesome. So why don't we set up a meeting with him on Friday?
Okay.
And we'll talk about, you know, incorporating it US and China at the same time, making it a better deal for you, and obviously great for us as well.
Okay,
So
that sounds
why don't
great.
we do Friday at 3 PM? Does that work
Let
for
me
you?
check my calendar here.
Yeah, why don't we mark it down, you
Okay.
know, if it has to change, we could work around that, but
Right.
let's try to shoot for Friday at 3 PM.
Okay, yeah, so long that
meets.
Bri will be able to be there, that sounds
Awesome,
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
You have my business card, you
I
can
do.
reach out to me. Listen, it was great meeting you today.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time
Awesome.
today, Kyle.
You as well.
Nice meeting you, buddy.
I think that was probably better into it.
I threw it in right before you meant for me.